Hey everybody, welcome to Assemble. I'm Matt. Good to have you here. Let's talk more wrestling, shall we? And today we are going to do just that. And we're going to talk about WWE Backlash coming at you from France, Paris. So we're going to go through all of our predictions for all of the matches that we know as of today. And if you guys end up enjoying this video, do me a favor, just hit the like button at the very end and subscribe if you guys want to check out more content that we have here on the channel. Let us begin, shall we? Backlash is shaping up to be a smaller show. You know what they don't do? They don't do the big 10, 14 matches, do they? They didn't make this into a giant schmoz. Smaller shows that are more, they're methodical. They got a couple of matches on every card and they're not blowing it out of the water. Backlash is shaping up because it's coming right off the heels of the draft. I'm not feeling totally enthused about the overall card and the direction because it feels like a lot of filler or leftovers from WrestleMania, but we'll see.
You need to try Magic Spoon, and here's why. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, 4 to 5 grams of net carbs in each serving, and there's only 140 calories per serving. It's the same great taste that you remember, but upgraded with grown-up ingredients, and there's no artificial flavors or dyes, which is really important. Gluten-free, which is really important for me and my health. It's a cereal that totally fits my lifestyle. Click the link below to get some Magic Spoon cereal today. You can build your very own custom box with all the flavors you love and use my code ASSEMBLE for $5 off. You can choose from the best-selling cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, and maple waffle flavors, plus other awesome flavors including honey nut, blueberry muffin, birthday cake, which is actually really fantastic, cinnamon roll, and chocolate chip cookie. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. So click the link below or scan the QR code and use the code ASSEMBLE for $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/assemble to save $5 off your order today. Also, for my fellow Canadians and British fans, Magic Spoon ships to Canada and the UK.
The first match we're going to talk about is going to be the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. The Kabuki Warriors going up against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Now, the Kabuki Warriors have just been drafted over to Monday Night Raw, but yes, they can float across brands, so it doesn't totally matter whether they win or lose in this regard. But Jade Cargill and Bianca, you don't want them to win. You know what? It's a little tricky because they won the trios match at WrestleMania and they beat Damage Control. Do you really want Damage Control to lose again in this whole thing? Here's my theory with what they could do. You don't want Bianca and Jade to lose, right? You want to keep them looking strong. We know that Jade and Bianca have been drafted to SmackDown. I think that they could actually start their momentum into having a program together. They've been best buddies all the way through to WrestleMania, and frankly, what are you gonna do next? Are you just gonna make them into the Mega Powers and have them win the tag team titles? They could, but then you don't really have a lot of other tag teams for Bianca and Jade to feud with, and you really wanna strap on the belt this quick. I'm just trying to think this whole thing through, to be honest, as I'm going through this, but okay, you know what? I'm gonna say Jade and Bianca do win. Part of me feels like Jade is gonna turn on Bianca, and that's gonna set up their feud for the next 3 months or whatever and get us to SummerSlam. But you know what? They're gonna want to keep them together tight. It also gives Jade a lot more time in the ring that she needs, because I feel like she's still progressing. She still needs more time, more reps in there, and she doesn't really have big solos matches. I think her big match will be eventually against Bianca Belair. So my prediction is that we are gonna get change in the titles, and we're gonna get Jade and Bianca. They're gonna win the women's tag team titles. Damage Control is on Raw, but they could easily just go and have a match. And that actually, if they win the tag titles, that allows Bianca and Jade to both float over to Monday Night Raw to defend those belts, maybe on occasion. Plus, they just drafted over Piper Niven and Chelsea Green to SmackDown. So you got Jade and Bianca as tag champs. You got them as opponents going out of this program. But I don't see it moving beyond that. So Jade and Bianca, they're gonna win. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga in his first match. The Bloodline, the new version of the Bloodline. This one's gonna be interesting because the draft, the Bloodline, Solo and Tama Tonga, they got drafted low on the card, didn't they? And Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, they've been kind of going back and forth with this whole thing. This could go one of two ways. Either you see Kevin Owens, Randy Orton implode, which I feel is a little less likely. I think what's more likely to happen is Solo and Tama Tonga do pick up the win. I think that they will just make everything a bloody mess. And you're giving Tama Tonga his first full match here under this new bloodline. You're gonna need to keep him strong and show why he matters and his intensity. They're doing a good job, I think, of making him feel like a big villain, but like Solo running around being like, we need our dressing room back and we should be #1 draft pick. Solo's lost every match he's ever had. Like, he beat John Cena and then nothing. He's lost everything. So Bloodline, new Bloodline, they need a win, but they need a vicious win. And I think Kevin Owens could be the one to eat that pin, but they gotta move this story along. If this is just gonna be Solo and Tama Tonga picking up a victory in a tag match, it's gotta be more than that. I think you do need Kevin Owens and Randy Orton to get beaten down. I just don't buy Randy Orton, like, eating a pin or losing to Solo. Or even Tama Tonga. I feel like a couple of RKOs and they're out of there. It's getting a little iffy when it comes to Bloodline in terms of like taking them seriously. I worry. But you know what they could do as I sit here and think about it? This could be a really good opportunity for Jacob Fatu to actually be introduced. Bring him to France, have his debut in the match. There you go. So I'm going to say the Bloodline's going to win, but I think we are going to get the debut of Jacob Fatu and he's going to help the Bloodline win. Going with traditional Bloodline rules. WWE Women's Championship, Bayley versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton triple threat match. This looked like it was going to be a straight up one-on-one match, but I am glad that they are making this a triple threat. Bayley retains. I don't think that Bayley is going to lose the title coming off of WrestleMania. Big monumental moment for her, and this is going to be a good match, but I do think that this is going to be a good match to showcase Tiffany Stratton. She is the one to watch for. The draft, the dust has settled. We know where everybody has landed. You got Naomi, Tiffany, and Bayley all on SmackDown. I think that Tiffany is going to be playing a bigger and bigger role this year, and she's going to be rising the ranks. And I think she will eventually get the one-on-one match with Bayley, but I think they're going to build to it. That could be the SummerSlam match. But I think in the meantime, this will be great. As long as they give this thing like 15-20 minutes. You need this thing to be stretched out, and then we can see what everyone can do. Triple threat matches are traditionally hard for them to pull off, so hopefully they can pull it off here. What I see them doing with Tiffany Stratton after all of this, I can really see her winning Money in the Bank. I got Chelsea Green pegged for Queen of the Ring. I think maybe Tiffany picks up Money in the Bank. She can tease that briefcase over Bayley for months, or announce a cash in, or do the cash in, and it would work for her character. So I can totally see that happening, but in this case, I think you're gonna get Bayley retains, and that is gonna still keep the feud going afterwards, and Tiffany and Naomi can go off and have their matches, or Bayley and Tiffany and so on. World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest going up against Jey Uso. Now I have some concerns about Damian Priest as World Heavyweight Champion. I like Damian Priest as champion, but I don't feel like he is getting a really big showcase. He wasn't drafted because he was the world champion. All the champs stayed put, but he feels like he is falling in the background already, and it's only been a couple of weeks since WrestleMania. I just feel like WWE hasn't done a great job of keeping his presence really hot. Cody is the biggest focus out of everybody, and I understand that, but Damian Priest is your world champion, and he's got a one-on-one match against Jey. I think Damian Priest is going to retain the title. I don't see him losing. Possibly that Judgment Day is going to interfere in all of this and cost Jey the match. One way or another, Damian Priest needs to win. He needs to retain the belt. I don't think Jey is going to get his hands on this thing. I could see Jey going after the Intercontinental title at some point. He's just not there yet. But Damian Priest, after he gets presumably this win and retains his belt, they need to heat him up more. They need to be presenting him more as the world champion. Seth did so much work for the last year for that belt to establish it. I worry that Priest is going to have a short-lived run and the belt will quickly get over to like Drew McIntyre, and then you got Drew and Punk going after the belt. It's a tricky situation because I look at somebody like Drew McIntyre, like CM Punk, and their story is on fire. And I feel like the story between Damian Priest and Jey Uso is kind of whatever. It's just a match to have a match at Backlash. So Damian Priest retains. Your main event, AJ Styles versus the WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes. Cody's winning. That's as easy as it gets. There's no shenanigans in here. There could be something at the very end if they wanted to make it a lot of fun, but this is a big PLE in France. They're going to want the crowd to go home very happy. You're going to have Cody retain this title. The thing is, where do we go from here? I don't see AJ versus Cody being an extended feud. They're obviously both on SmackDown post-draft. AJ could keep challenging or try to challenge Cody. It would be more intriguing if, now that we know the OC is drafted over to SmackDown, if AJ kind of established his faction and established the OC or some kind of Bullet Club and rename them. Cody needs the odds stacked against him. That's what makes him a really good babyface. But if he goes in there and beats AJ in a great match, I have no doubt it'll be a great match for probably 20 minutes or so. I need more from Cody. long term? Do they tease anything with the bloodline? Do they get bloodline interference after the match with AJ? Do they do anything there? Do they tease The Rock? I'm going to say no. I think that they're just going to do this straight up match. I think it'll be hard hitting. It'll have some great spots. The two of them can probably go really well together. I am looking forward to it. My problem and my concern, I guess, is with Cody is where do we go next? That is my biggest worry with him. It is where a lot of wrestling fans in general talk about Cody getting boring. I don't think Cody is boring. I just worry that WWE's focus and attention, they will have the long-term story plans for him, right? I think the overarching plan for Cody is The Rock and Roman Reigns. I think that is the plan. But week to week, you need Cody to be doing stuff that's interesting. And to be honest, the other thing I'll say on this, I'm a little tired of everybody, and this is Cody, this is AJ, this is everyone, referencing Dusty Rhodes. I love everything Dusty did in the 80s, and it's cool that he trained and impacted so many people. That's all awesome. But I'm getting bored, and I'm getting kind of sick of them relying on it as a storyline beat or crutch in order to kind of like, I don't know, motivate storylines. It always seems to be about, well, it was Dusty and I knew your dad. Okay, yeah, so did everybody seemingly knew Dusty Rhodes or worked with him or was impacted by him. Wonderful. But everyone is using the exact same story beat that gets Cody looking like he's gonna cry every time. And that motivates Cody because someone brought up his dad's name. It's getting overdone in my opinion. And I think that they need to pull that back and give Cody something a little bit more tangible that has a lot more meat to it. And I'd like to see AJ Styles get heated up even more as a heel, but we'll see what happens after Backlash. But what do you think? What's going to happen at WWE Backlash for you? Cody losing the title? That's not happening. There's no chance Cody's losing the title. Do you see anybody else winning, losing, or surprise matches that they might pepper in there? There's always the chance of that because we just came off of the WWE draft. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, check out more right here because we're talking the WWE draft results, everything, whether it was boring, whether it was not, and it was fun. Let me know. Have a great day. See ya.